Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. All right, I won't do that dance anymore because no one even knows that reference probably. But if you do, good for you. All right, so I had talked earlier in a different video about the appraisal process and what to do in the event that you have a low appraisal. Low appraisal, angry face, which would be the seller, you the seller, if you have a low appraisal for some reason. So, what to do? The first thing you do is don't be like, and panic. Don't panic. There are plenty of steps to challenge that appraisal, and that's what we're going to do today. Blah. So the first thing you want to do is going to obtain a copy of that appraisal from either your real estate agent or from the lending company, whoever has those documents in hand. That way you can comb over the properties that they pulled to compare to your home. All right, the next thing you want to do is you want to make sure you review those comps with your real estate agent. So you want to comb through all those comparable properties that the appraiser had handpicked and find any variances that might occur in that report there. So perhaps, the square footage is vastly different from another property that they pulled that you feel wasn't an accurate representation. Or maybe it was a physical location of the property or the lot size, or perhaps your home has a lot more upgrades or amenities that it comes with. So that's going to be the next step you want to do is review those properties and find where those variances are. The next thing is the location. And by that, I mean potentially the zip code. So I'll use the example. So here in Phoenix, right now, I'm on the west side of Tatum Boulevard. So we live in 85032, which is a Phoenix zip code. So we'll call this Tatum and Greenway. And if you're not familiar with these roads, it's okay. This is just to illustrate a point here. And then this is Tatum. All right. So if you live on the west side of Tatum Boulevard right here, on these cross streets, you're in 85032, which is Phoenix. If you're on the east side of Tatum Boulevard, you're in 85254, which is Scottsdale. Now, both of these are fine areas to live in, but if you have a house in Scottsdale and the appraiser did a 1 mile radius search, maybe they just kind of did one of these things and they pulled some comparable properties here, I might challenge the location. Even though it's across the street, this is a Scottsdale address, so I would want more homes on here to weigh heavier or more heavily in the appraisal process, or the appraisal value, if you will. The next thing to consider is also school districts. So school districts also have an impact on the value of your house. So if you live in a very desirable school district community, if you're in that area right there, it's going to impact the value of your house. And if maybe the appraisal pulled homes that are in a less desirable school district, I would want to make sure that those homes are all within the same school district if we know that is a good school district to be in. Now, the next thing to do is contest the homes used. So the stuff that we just covered, if it's on different boundaries, different zip codes, or it's in a different school district, I would immediately point those out to the appraiser and the appraisal company and say, I would send that report over and say, hey, look at these homes. This is in a different neighborhood, or this is a different school district, to give them time to reconsider the valuation of that property. Now, the next thing on the list is going to be to contest any permit issues. So this is going to be your real estate professional's job to look at those potential comps that perhaps you don't feel should weigh as heavily. Let's say one of the properties they pulled, let's say your house is 2,000 square feet. It's a beautiful house. Look at it. It's like an oblong or something. Anyway, say your house is 2,000 square feet. And this house is also 2,000 square feet, but they made an addition to bring it up to 2,000 square feet. So they added a bedroom or a living room or whatever have you. So they can check with the city to find out exactly if that addition was permitted. They can pull that information. It's all public, it's all online. So if that addition was added and it wasn't permitted, it's gonna have a different value. All right, the next item on our list is gonna be bragging about your house. Yes! Finally, you get to brag about your house. Look how beautiful this house is. I mean, look at the windows and the way the ceiling just covers my head. Well, no, not like that. But what I mean is have a list of upgrades or updates you made to the house. So if you put in new flooring or new windows or a new roof, perhaps you redid the electrical in your house and put a new panel. Things like that go a long way in determining the value of your house. So make sure you have a brag sheet of everything you did to your house since you've owned it. Now, next on the list is gonna be scrutinize the appraiser. Yes, you can actually do this. That means, did they actually enter the house? Did they just take pictures of the outside and then say, hey, here's the value? Or do they walk inside the property, take pictures, all that kind of things? Perhaps they're an appraiser who doesn't necessarily work specifically in that area. Maybe you're in Scottsdale and they do the majority of their business in Gilbert, which is a vastly different area. And for some reason they got rotated to do the Scottsdale appraisal. I would contest that with the appraisal company and say, nope, I want a second appraiser who comes out and specifically knows our market. Now, next on our list is to demand a new appraisal. So you can write a letter or an email, to the bank or to the lending financial institution to demand a new appraiser come out if you feel that there were certain items that they did not hit or touch, or they didn't cover some of the updates, or they weren't in the right market. You can demand that they send out a second appraisal. And finally, if all else fails, you've exhausted all other possibilities, you can order your own appraisal. Now, keep in mind, you're gonna come out of pocket to have your own independent appraisal done, and they still may not come in at value of the price you're trying to hit. So, pros and cons to each one, but that way you have a better idea of what to do in the event that your house comes in low. All right, so hopefully that gives you a better understanding of what to do in the event that you have a low appraisal. Remember, don't freak out. You've got a lot of options you can cover with your real estate professional in the event that this happens. Thanks again for watching, guys. Again, any questions or comments, or if you want to see something specifically, please comment below or feel free to reach out. I'm Dan Weisinger. Bye, guys.